Welcome back to the Bosch blog, your go-to place for bullet journaling, books, and beyond. I'm Brittany, and I'm excited to bring you along while I create a 2-page calendar spread in my bullet journal. This is how you do it, step by step, 2-page calendar spread. So supplies you need is your journal, a ruler with millimeters, a pencil, and a pen. So you're going to start off with your ruler. You don't want to use the inches side. You want to use the millimeter side. Now, typically, this is not my normal ruler, so you'll see me use this a little bit different. The first thing you want to do is decide which side of the paper you want to have 4 days out of your week. There are 7 days in a week, so one side needs to have 3 days, the other side has to have 4 days. Now, I like to do 4 days on the right side of my paper. Now, first, what you're going to do is measure the right side of your paper. Mine, from the first dot to the last dot, is 16 millimeters. Now, there are 4 days that I want to put over there. So you're going to take as wide as your paper is and divide it by 4. So each one of my lines is going to go on the 4 because 16 divided by 4 is 4. So that is how I figure it out. Now you may have a different size paper or book. I use a B6 journal, so your measurements may be different, but my measurements are a 4x4 box. So what I'm going to do is take my pencil and I'm going to circle where each of my lines are going to go. So I'm circling the dot where the beginning of my line is going to go, and then I'm going to the number 4 on my ruler, and I'm going to circle that dot with my pencil as well. And then I'm going to go to the 8. And I'm going to circle that dot. Now that's going to create my line. Now here's the thing. I start my week on Monday. Some people start their week on Sunday. So my journal is going to be set up for the month I'm in starting on a Monday. So I have my last line because there's only going to be 2 days of the week on the right side of my paper for this month. Now I'm going to line up my ruler vertically. Vertical is up and down, horizontal is side to side. And I'm going to go from my very first dot I circled, up 4 and make a circle around that dot, up 4 more, make a circle around that dot, and up 4 more until I'm all the way up to the top of my page so that my entire calendar will fit on there. Now, pro tip, have a calendar right in front of your face. I have my computer open to the Google Calendar, which I have it set to start on Monday. So I know how many Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays I need, how many weeks I need on the right-hand side, and how many I need on the left-hand side. So now you're going to go through and you're going to circle the dot for each intersecting point in your calendar grid. So you'll see here I'm going through and circling the dots as I go up and as I go across. So on that last line, I'm not going to do it because I only need Thursday and Friday on the right hand side of my journal because there are no Saturday or Sunday after the 31st. That's the new month. So this is for July of 2026, in case you're wondering. So I'm just going back up and I am basically going from one dot to the next and filling out the rest of my grid. Now, once you have that all done, you'll see that's a blank space down in that bottom right hand corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pen. Now, the best thing I do is I grab the thickest pen I have because I want my lines to be bold. And now you can just go through and freehand this if you want a, whimsical, wonky line, but sometimes I'm a little bit extra and I want a nice, crisp, clean line. So I'm going to line up my ruler on those dots where the circles are, and I'm going to make my line horizontally directly through those dots and those circles I made on those dots. So you can see here my ruler. This is the old ruler from my childhood. Like, I am 36 going on 37 this year, and this ruler is probably as old as I am. I don't know where it came from. I like my metal rulers with the nice crispy edge. I know it messes up your pen, but I don't care. This wooden ruler is a bunch of crap because it doesn't even have that metal piece in it anymore. So I am just slowly going from the bottom to the top, so I don't, like, you could go from the top to the bottom, whichever way you want to do it, but I was trying not to let my ruler overlap the other lines so it smeared. I was trying to be cognizant of that. So this is my top first week of the month. I am lining it up, and I am going to draw my line from left to right, and those are each of the rows for your calendar grid. Now I'm going to go from the right side to the left side because I don't know, I don't want my ruler to like smudge whatever. It's just easier. I don't know. So we're going here. Now you can see where I went over a little bit in that second line. Just grab some whiteout, like whiteout tape or whiteout like paint, like that little thing, whatever. And get rid of it. Like, I'll do that later. I didn't do it now because I'm drawing my line. So now the reason why you use the pencil and circle around the dot is so that you can see it. Because if you're just putting a dot on the dot and you already put your horizontal lines down, you're gonna lose your dot. So I have found that putting that circle around the dot that you want to draw your line on makes it super easy. Now, once you get really bold and you know what you're doing, you can freehand this and not even like, I mean, I've messed it up several times when I've done this, but you can also just freehand your grid if you want. Now I'm going back through here and erasing my circles that are around there because, you know, I did a very light pencil and it just comes right off. Now that I have my pencil erased, I'm going to move on to the left side of my calendar grid. And this is where, because I've done the one side, I'm going to kind of quote unquote cheat with this one. I'm going straight in with the pen. So basically, the only thing you really need to make sure you measure properly is from your left side to your right side. Make sure you're lining it up correctly, because sometimes, like, see, mine kind of looks like it's on an angle, but it's really not. So you're gonna go in there, and what I do is I know that my whole page is 16 and I want to go 4 millimeters for each one. Now the month of July started on a Wednesday, so I only did from the far right hand dot over 4 millimeters, and that's one day of the week. Now what I did here is I know 4 times 3 is 12, so I put the 12 on the very end, like on that very right side where my last dot is, so I know I'm only going over to the very end of my ruler for my days of the week. So there's that, and then we're doing our next one. So we're lining up from right to left, and then we're only going from our very last over 12 millimeters. And then we're going to do this last line and then the bottom line, and then we do our vertical lines. Now remember too, like you can use any pen that you like sometimes I do colors too, so your calendar grid doesn't always have to be like black and white. You can use colors, whatever you like. So now we're going on the vertical and doing from the very, very top all the way down to the bottom. This is where my pen and my ruler did not like me. And then we're going to do the next one from the very end of that first one down. So there's our first column for Wednesday. Now see here, I'm like, okay, well, I need to make sure that I cut these last rows in half correctly. So I put my ruler down and I know like I need to go to the 4, and then we're gonna make that row. And then our very last one, our very last line to complete our calendar grid. And that's it. It is simple, especially like, I think the biggest thing for me is I was so tired of counting dots. So once you do this once, you're gonna know every single time what your measurements are. Like I know mine is 4 by 4. And if you forget, once you do it once, you can go back, grab your ruler and measure it, and then you know what your number is. So now I just add my date into the top left-hand corner. You could do it in the center, you could do it on the right-hand corner, whatever your heart fancies. You can put it wherever you like. I've seen it always in every way. Sometimes too, people do it in color if it's a special day. And then after you get all of your dates on, you can start decorating and adding other things to your calendar. So typically down there in the corner, you can do like a quote, important dates. Up in the top, tippy top, I'm gonna do maybe like a washi tape over there. I'm gonna put the name of the month right there in that big spot on the top left-hand side, and then down that column on the left-hand side, you can also decorate it as well. You can add like little doodles, or you can put like important dates to remember, whatever you like. But that's pretty much it for how you set up a 2-page journal spread. And I'm going to show you one last thing, which is my date, like my days of the week. So I use my marker or highlighter first, and then you write in the days of the week over top with your pen. If you use your pen first and then your highlighter or marker, it's going to smudge your pen. So I always use the marker first and then I write over it with the pen. And that's about it. All my favorite tips and tricks for creating a 2-page journal spread. For a calendar journal spread. If you found this helpful and you made it this far, give me a thumbs up or leave a comment and tell me if this helped you, or if you were like, this was the stupidest video of my life, then let me know that too. But I hope this helped you if you're interested in doing bullet journaling, and I hope you guys have a great month, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye.